Manchester United are reportedly in advanced talks and negotiations with the agent Jonathan Barnett of Saul Niguez. Talks between Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, and Niguez representatives is reportedly stalled in recent days. Liverpool Football Club were led to believe were the front runners from the Premier League contingent chasing the player. Now it is being claimed that Manchester United are the front runners. Do you believe that Manchester United are genuinely involved, that the situation is as advanced as the agent is claiming? Or do you think Manchester United's name is being used here to speed the situation up, to speed the stalling situation up with Barcelona? Give us your views. Give us your opinions. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the Football Terrace. Here we go. Good evening and welcome back to the Football Terrace. Man United reportedly from Spanish football expert Francesc Aguilar are in advanced talks with the agent, Jonathan Barnett, I believe his name is, maybe Barnett. Did I say Bennett? Is it Barnett or Bennett? I'm just reading again here. Let me just double check because I now can't find it. Barnett, sorry, Jonathan Barnett. Man United reportedly in advanced talks and negotiations with him. He's the agent of Saúl Ñíguez. The report says, whilst negotiations continue to stall between Barca and Atletico Madrid for Griezmann, Jonathan Barnett, Saul's agent, is in advanced negotiations with Manchester United over the transfer. What has also been claimed by Francesc Aguilar is that Man United have leapfrogged Liverpool in the race for Saúl Ñíguez. Now, this begs the question. Here from... This begs the question, are Man United really in for him? Are Man United looking at life after Paul Pogba? Are Manchester United looking to improve that central midfield area irrespective? Or are Man United being used? Are Man United being used here by the management and the representatives of Saúl Ñíguez to get them this dream move to Barcelona? Are they maybe trying to tempt Liverpool? Maybe it is stalling with Barcelona and they're trying to attempt Liverpool that have been in contact for a number of weeks now to offer a better deal. Maybe the frustration or the annoyance of being pipped by their biggest rivals, Man United, might trigger them along to offer a better contract. They want to get Saúl Ñíguez out of Atletico Madrid as soon as possible. Are Man United being used here? Are the fans being manipulated? We have seen time and time again over the course of the past week, Man United fans, some United fans, not even being that excited about Sancho or Raphael Varane, and they've been very much focused on, but we still need a midfielder. Why the hell are we not linked with Saúl Ñíguez when he's available for around 40 million euros? This is a disgrace. Suddenly, from nowhere, out of nowhere, we're linked with Saúl Ñíguez. We've leaked from Liverpool. We're in advanced conversations with the agent. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on this. My personal one is I think our name is being... I pray that we're wrong. I pray that I am wrong. And anyone else that's voted, yes. And if I look at the poll right now, 79% of you think Man United are being used to push the Barca deal through. So as a Man United fan, I pray we're wrong because I want Saúl Ñíguez. I think he's a tremendous football player. I think he's a brilliant football player. But as I say, this doesn't feel real to me, but I want your views and opinions. You can call into the show now and have your say. The link to phone in is pinned in the live comment section. Before you do that, make sure that like button is being hit. LFC Glory here says PR stunt. And I agree with you. I think this is a PR stunt to push Barca and to push Liverpool ever before he's going to go to Manchester United. That's how it feels to me. Look, if it turned out not to be, and tomorrow morning we wake up and there's a tweet from Fabrizio that says, here we go, Saúl Ñíguez to Man United. Total agreement. Retete. Listen, I'm going to be a very, very happy Manchester United fan. No shadow of a doubt. But this one just feels too easy, too simple, too cute. Just something about it seems off. I think Terry may be in talks, but I still think Liverpool and Barcelona are the front runners. And maybe that's it. Maybe that's where it's at. Maybe there was a brief conversation with the agent, and in that brief conversation with the agent, Saul Niguez's name came up, and he dropped that into a conversation today. And maybe he's pulling on it a little bit, because that wouldn't be weird, right? That wouldn't be a weird thing for Man United to be talking to the agent about something else entirely, and then for Man United to ask what's going on with Saul Niguez. And then he just drops it into the conversation. Oh, Man United have inquired about him. And one thing leads to another, and it kind of spirals out and up from there. You've got to remember that Saul Niguez is with Stella. Now, there's a lot of players that are connected to Manchester United that use that agent. You do realize who the same agency. You've got the CAMAVINGA is with that agency. Luke Shaw, who we're talking to about a new deal at Man United, is with that agency. As an example, you start going through the list here of other people that are in that list. Dean Henderson, the Man United goalkeeper, is with that agency. Dan James, who's linked with moves away, is with that agency. So there are a number of reasons why Manchester United could be talking to Jonathan Barnett from the Stella Group. There's many, many reasons as to why. And of course, Saul Niguez could have come up in conversation. That wouldn't be a weird or a strange thing to be discussed. United have a number of clients already with him. Are we looking to sign any of these players right now? As we know, we've mentioned CAMAVINGA. It could have just been a touching base on that. Saul Niguez's name gets mentioned, and the agency use it as a ploy to get him to move to Liverpool or Barcelona a little bit quicker. Yeah, absolutely right. Kevin O'Sullivan says, Sal, here we go. And listen, my friend, I hope that's right. I hope you're absolutely right. A few people asking here saying, but he wants 300 grand a week. Well, 300,000 euros equivalent. So it's about 230, 240 in pounds sterling. I'd pay him that. I have no qualms with giving Saul Niguez whatever he wants. He is a sensational football player. It would be an amazing piece of business to bring him in. An amazing piece of business to bring him in. And if the only way this does make sense, again, is if Man United are moving Paul Pogba on, and that deal's more advanced than we're led to believe, and United are now doing the due diligence on who they want to replace him. But I still think Barcelona is going to be the destination. Liverpool still got an outside chance. Just right now, I just don't think the Man United links are particularly true. Let's do some more of your comments coming through here. Of course, we prioritize member chats and we prioritize super chats as well. Twisted Bubba said, it's happening. It's one of the first times I've seen you be positive on the show. Terry working overtime today. Salute my G. Always working, mate. Always work. I got 3 kids to feed. I always work. My kids will never, ever, ever go hungry. Brian here says, out of all the teams, I think it's fair to say he'll fit in seamlessly at Liverpool, is what Brian believes. Look, I know Liverpool fans won't thank me for saying this, but just over a week ago, Liverpool Football Club were leading the race. Liverpool Football Club, if they'd have offered him the contract, it could have been done so quickly. So quickly, this deal could have been done, and they've allowed Barcelona to slip in. That's why I think you've got to remember, Saul Niguez, Barca is his preferred destination, but he isn't hell bent on it. It isn't. If he goes Man United, he'll be happy. If he goes Liverpool, he'll be very happy. There's an interest in Chelsea also. This is the man that wants to move on to a bigger club than Atletico Madrid. He wants to go and prove a point. He feels a little bit shunted. He feels a little bit disrespected by Diego Simeone. It's a great reason to pick a player up. A highly talented player of his age, technically brilliant, versatile, with a bit between his teeth and a point to prove. Get it done. Absolutely get it done. Terry, keep believing and you'll be receiving. I remember listening to Deontay Wilder say that, and then the man got spanked about the ring for 25 minutes before the towel got thrown in. So David says, fuck yes, I said the other day, why don't we go in for him? Big up Terry and big up Fletcher and Myrtle if we get him. Listen, if it is true and they pull this off, it is nothing short of sensational. Nothing short of sensational. It'll be one of the very best transfers of the last 10 years at Manchester United. Saúl Ñíguez is out of this world. And by the way, if he ends up at Liverpool, I will not change my energy. I will never change my energy. Reese the Beast Gaming says, Terry, the last time Man United bought a Borussia Dortmund winger, Chelsea won the league. When did Man United last buy? When did we buy it? You talking about Shinji Kagawa? More of a 10 than a winger, but I hear you. I hear you. The bronze dosser. He got spanked in that fight. What does this say here? This is from Ismail, who says, don't believe Terry. Don't believe it, Terry. South United. I don't believe it either, my friend. I don't believe it either. I don't believe it either. Cedric says, I was under the impression that Saúl and Griezmann had an agreement to a proposed swap deal between the clubs. Well, Cedric, so was I. We saw the reports come out, and they were very matter of fact. This has kind of come from nowhere. Both players want it. Both clubs want it. It's closing in very quickly. The reports in the last 2 to 3 days have suggested that was maybe a little premature. The deal is a little bit further away from being completed. And now it's being reported that the contract situation between the clubs has stalled. Swap deals are notoriously difficult to get done. The legalities are a nightmare. And maybe now one of the clubs isn't getting out of the deal what they initially expected. Atletico Madrid need to sell Saúl Ñíguez. Saúl Ñíguez wants to get away from that football club. So there is the possibility. Oh, you mean Mkhitaryan? Sorry, yeah. Sorry, I forgot we signed him. I've kind of blotted that out of my mind. They want the deal to go through. They want it to happen. I just don't believe it's advanced with Man United, and I don't believe with the front runners in front of Liverpool. If someone said we've had some initial conversations, that wouldn't shock me too much. Yazia says, who's your favorite Man United player of all time? Oh, it's a tough one. I'll keep it to players I've seen play. My favorite versus the greatest I've seen is very different. So my favorite, David Beckham. The greatest that I've seen play. Honestly, it's a toss of a coin between Paul Scholes and Wayne Rooney. But yeah, that's my answer. David Beckham, my favorite player growing up. Best window in recent years for us with Mkhitaryan. I mean, listen, that window, when we signed Mkhitaryan, Zlatan, Pogba, Bailly, and we had Jose Mourinho, I went into that season looking, I was so excited going into that season. So excited. But then I remember only a few weeks in when we got beat by Watford. Oh, my God. You just knew. I don't know. Just knew from the start there. Maria Williams says, Bex, listen, stop. I'm talking about the football here. Stop looking at the looks. Terrible, Maria. I can't deal with this now. I'm trying to watch Love Island. Where? Why are you watching Love Island for? My word. Love Island. Yeah, you're right. Man like devil in the details, Danny. You're right, bruv. We did think the title was coming. 110%. It just felt, yeah, because it was only a couple. We're only 2 or 3 years after winning the league title. And having said that, though, the summer before, when we signed Bastian Schweinsteiger and Morgan Schneiderlin, I remember thinking that team was good enough. I legitimately remember thinking, wow, we've got this solid midfield. Bastian Schweinsteiger's a Don. Everybody wanted Morgan Schneiderlin at the time. He was class. And then it didn't work. We've had that feeling every year. We've had that feeling every single year. We really and truly have. So I'm updating the title. The title hasn't been updated. We're going to go to some calls now. First on the show, I'm going to go to AFCB. James Reed is going to come on and have his say, welcome to the terrace, mate. Who do you support?
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
What do you want to say, my friend?
Border.
Sorry?
Oh.
You good?
Yeah.
Good, man. You enjoying the show?
Yeah.
Top man. Listen, who do you support? What football team do you support, big man? You see that badge? Is that Bournemouth?
Yeah.
A Bournemouth fan. Nice to see. Nice to see.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Listen, I appreciate you watching the show, young man. Enjoy yourself, and we'll chat soon. Take care of yourself, James.
Okay.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Bless him. Bless him. Bournemouth fan in the house there, doing his thing. Doing his thing there. Malik here in the super chat says, Terry, with COVID-19 having affected on incomes of football teams, do you believe Man United are throwing the kitchen sink at players? Hopefully, Sal is true. See, I don't think we are throwing the kitchen sink. You've got to understand, we're going to pick up an 80-odd million pound player in Varane for around top bat, everything being included. You're talking about you're picking him up for around 50 million quid, top bat. That's like legitimate. If we end up having to pay all of the, excuse me, forget my words mixed up here, add-on bonuses, it's still at that point. Like Raphael Varane is, if he had a full-length contract, easily a 60, 70, 80 million pound player. Jadon Sancho, we picked up for 72, 73 million pound. It was being quoted as 85, 90 million, even only 2 or 3 weeks ago. If we end up picking up, we're looking at the likes of Kieran Trippier, maybe at 18 million pounds. Saúl Ñíguez, if the Saúl Ñíguez deal was true, Malik, it's going to be about 40 million euros. That's a snip for a player that when we inquired 2 summers ago, we were quoted over 100 million pounds. So you could, and I haven't worked this out at the top. I'm literally going to do quick math here on my phone. It's easier than getting up on my computer. Let's just say we sign Trippier and we get Saúl Ñíguez as well, right? So 72 is a lot of money. Plus, let's just go full bat here. No, we're not going to go full bat. We're going to go 42 million for Varane up front. That's all he's going to cost us. Plus around 35 million for Saúl Ñíguez. Plus 18 for Kieran Trippier. 167 million. It is a lot of money. But for the caliber of player we're buying, I think we're buying 220 to 250 million pounds worth of player for 167 million. So yes, we're spending a lot, but we're buying below valuation, and that is phenomenal business. And it's right to throw the kitchen. It's right to use our resource to better ourselves. We thought we were going to do it last summer. It looks like we're maybe capitalizing this time round. There's no doubt about it. Let's have a look at a few more of these comments here. Wow, Jayling's fam removed my message because I was laughing because I called him out. Listen, guys, I'll speak to Jayling's fam afterwards. Just not be disrespectful to callers that come onto the show, please, and do their jobs there. Let's have a look at a few more of these comments that are coming through. A lot of people giving love to James that was on. Absolutely bless him. Absolutely bless him. That's all you can say. That's all you can say there. Ronan here says Big Six should be raiding Barcelona and bullying them in the market. Leave them with no one other than Messi. Who knows? Maybe that could happen. Comment here that says Sancho, Varane, I think we're just a one-horse race. They were just one-horse races to a degree, but that's because the players wanted to join Manchester United. That element shouldn't be ignored, forgotten about, or disregarded. Man United, Sancho only wanted to join us. Varane has unequivocally told United via his reps, I want to join Manchester United. It's what stopped other teams from wanting to get involved. It's what's making me believe in this new structure at the football club again. It's making me believe. It's making me believe. James here says Man United are doing a madness in this window. There's another comment here from Starlord that says, I would rather Rice. He'd rather Rice than Saúl Ñíguez. That's an interesting one. It's an interesting one indeed. Tell us why. Varane isn't worth as much as a few years ago. Varane's valuation dropped because of his contract. So because he's only got 1 year left on his contract, his valuation is probably 30 million pounds, 40 million pounds. But you're always going to pay above that to get him now. So this is where the situation becomes interesting in the sales process. Because Real Madrid need to recoup money, but Man United need a world-class centre-back now, you get caught in this kind of conundrum where they're never going to get the 60, 70 million they wanted because his valuation is lower. But we're not going to get him at market value, because otherwise Real Madrid, if they get too less for him, they'll just say no, utilize him for a year, and then Man United, they don't get them services for a year, and he ends up costing us 30, 40 million next year anyway, in sign-on fees, agent fees, etc. Massive increase in wages. So you end up just working out and coming to an arrangement in the middle. I'm actually probably being a little bit disingenuous. I'm looking at a few of the valuation tools here, putting him in at around 45 to 50 million circular. So maybe I undershot that a little bit, but I do hear what you're saying there. Let's do some more calls here. Next on the show, we're going to get Leo Martin on to have you say, Leo, welcome to the terrace. Who do you support?
Man United.
Good man. What do you think of the Saúl Ñíguez news trending this evening?
It would be big. Quite big, very big, and I can see us finishing in the top 2 next season if we can get Varane, Sancho, Saul Niguez, and yeah, I reckon we'll finish in top 2.
Interesting. Do you think we've got a chance of properly challenging for the title?
Yeah, definitely. I think Chelsea were going to be big next season. I think they'll probably go with it, with Tuchel being in for a full season. So that would be hard. So I reckon my top 4 would be Man City, Man United, Chelsea, and then Liverpool.
Yeah. Listen, I think it's a good shout. I think if the transfer market is going to be really key, I think there's going to be 2. I mean, there's never been 4 teams in a title race before, which is why I want to see it, because it would be unprecedented. Already, I'm looking at the fixtures building up, the new shows we've got coming on the terrace for next year, and it just every weekend for the opening 3 or 4 weeks, it just feels like there's a pivotal game, and the season's only just begun. Listen, Leo, thank you very much for coming on and having your say. There was a comment someone sent through to me here. This is Devils_dog. It's Chris on Twitter. It says, Mike Phelan told Howson Saul was on our radar. See, I didn't know that. So I didn't know that was the case. I do watch the Stretford Paddock, of course I do. I just didn't see that particular interview. So Mike Phelan has said that again. I don't know whether I believe we're in advanced talks right now. However, like I've said, I want to be wrong about this. I want my opinion on this to be wrong. And I think maybe what's playing on my mind is because I want Saul so desperately. I almost want to play it down and pretend like it 100% isn't going to happen, so I don't feel any disappointment. Maybe that's in the back of my mind. But as far as I can tell, the links are there. We know we've been looking at him for many years. Kendall earlier was tweeting saying how Saúl Ñíguez is just, in her opinion, just a Manchester United player sort of written all over him. So let's see how that one pans out. Selection here says, what, in your opinion, what will happen with Jesse Lingard? When you listen to what Ollie said earlier on today, he basically said Lingard's in our plans for now. So let's see what happens with the squad, who goes out on loan, who stays, who comes in for him, and we'll make a decision. He's definitely on the transfer list. United would definitely sell him better at the right price. I just don't see him getting a lot of game time unless we have major injuries. And I kind of at a point now, I respect Jesse Lingard, but I really want to see the young uns get a go. We saw how sharp Palestri looked today. I want Ahmad to get more game time. There's a few other youngsters that are coming through as well. So for me, I would like to see him moved on so he can play regularly as well. There's no doubt about it. Next on the show, Gunnar King. We're getting on to have you say, Gunnar King, Man United reportedly in advanced talks with Saúl Ñíguez this evening. Give me your thoughts, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're a bit mixed, obviously, like from the outside looking in as an Arsenal fan. Ñíguez is a good player. Like, he might not have been performing at the level of early on in his career, but he's a good player. It's nothing for him to turn that back on again. What my concern is like the profile, really, because at the moment, obviously in midfield, quite often United are using 2 pivots, either with Pogba on the left or Pogba being shoehorned somewhere, because Bruno is definitely on the team sheet as your number 10. So I'm just wondering what problem that solves, because yes, Ñíguez can play as a defensive-minded midfielder, He's probably more box to box though. You know, and I think if you looked at the balance of his strengths, they're definitely more in kind of going forward, in making progressive passes, in progressively kind of carrying the ball from deeper in midfield further forward. And obviously, if you've got that and no one behind you, and you get caught in possession and countered, you know, that might cause problems. So I guess, I mean, you know, I wanted to ask you, Terry, do you think it's the right profile for United? I mean, I said in the chat that I think Ndidi is the guy that you guys should be targeting, or someone in his ilk, you know, with that profile, with strong defensive qualities, and good physical presence as well.
Yeah, I feel like Niguez only happens if Paul Pogba leaves.
Yeah.
That's I felt that the whole time. So I think we'll only buy a central midfielder, like a star, a big name, if Paul Pogba leaves, because the money that will be raised. And even then, there is still this part of me that thinks, I still think Niguez is a long shot for us. I actually think we should go in a different direction with the Paul Pogba money, and we should look for a world-class CDM, and then, you know, start utilizing Donny a little bit more in central midfield, Bruno, of course, as well, and kind of grow from there. But if Pogba leaves and you want someone to come in for Paul Pogba, you're never going to get like for like. You're never going to get somebody with the technical ability of a Paul Pogba and the passing range. But Saúl Ñíguez, I think, he's different, but I think he brings in enough quality for you to not feel it as a massive hole. That's the problem. You have one of the best players in the world in a particular position. You just can't replace them. Not like people always like for like. It's like losing Messi. You know, you can't replace that ever. So you have to look to do something new and different. So yeah, I mean, I like Saúl Ñíguez. Everyone knows how much I've rated him. If we're buying him to try and convert him into some sort of holding midfield, single pivot like CDM type role, that would worry me, because I feel like that's not where his main strength is. He is box to box. I actually want to see him attack a little bit more. You know, I remember that. I mean, and that's one particular goal. That goal he scored, I want to say it was against Barca. It might have been against Bayern Munich in the Champions League a few years back. I just don't ever think he's been utilized enough. And I think in a more attacking side, in a more offensive team, I think people would be very impressed with the kind of player that he is. So yeah, I would like him. I agree with you. I would like an Ndidi or a Declan Rice. And if we're not going to get like a more like powerhouse midfielders like those two, then I wouldn't mind someone more like if we're keeping Pogba, like a Ruben Neves that could dictate the play from a deeper position. Maybe not as physical and as fast on his feet as we have, but other people. But yeah, that's what I would kind of look at, if I'm being honest. But in terms of this current link right now, these advanced talks, I just think we're being used a little bit. Our name's being used to try and push other elements along, really. That's what I would say.
Yeah. I mean, there could be that as well. Obviously, the interest in Barca, with the player, those guys looking at a swap. Liverpool as well. Maybe that could be what's happening. But yeah, I definitely think keeping him and Pogba and Van der Beek and Bruno in the same team seems difficult. And yeah, I think I rate McTominay and I rate Fred, but I think it's almost like if you combine those two players, then you would have that kind of single DM that you need. And I think, yeah, the main thing is that the Euros really showed the world that what Maguire and what Pogba can do with the right partner and chemistry, you know, sort of in who they're playing with. And
yeah,
I've said it from day one, Pogba is a world-class player. And I think United should be doing everything in their power to keep him. And I just don't think this move necessarily would be a good signal to him. Or maybe they know something behind the scenes that he doesn't want to renew and that they need to replace him already.
No, do you know what? I do get that. I think, interesting, listening to what a lot of people have said about Paul Pogba, there isn't this crazy desire to leave. It's okay, I could see myself leaving, but if he stays at Man United, he's quite happy here. It's a very professional thought process.
Mm-hmm.
I think Paul Pogba is also long enough and grown up enough to realize Man United are going to be. If I'm looking to leave, they're going to be looking at potential replacements at the same time. And I think that's the element where I feel like fans just need to be a little patient with this. That it isn't, again, it isn't Football Manager, where when you're the football manager of a computer game, you know who you're going to buy and sell, right? This is someone else is doing all that behind the scenes, and you just need to review it logically. I've seen a few people tweet, "This is the dumbest move ever. It isn't really a priority." It's like, well, one, we don't know if it's true. Secondly, you don't always buy in the order of the priority. It's a case of, well, maybe the world-class CDM we want isn't available till next year, so we've got to wait. And if Pogba does leave, we need a replacement for him. It's just about being logical and mindful with it all. But listen, Gunner King, thanks very much, mate, for coming on, having your say. Appreciate that as ever, mate. Top man. Thank you. Malik with the super chat here says, imagine United announced Sancho, Varane and Pogba extension. Anything else on top of that would be a 10 out of 10 window. I agree. I'm not going to buy into this notion of it's only... I've seen people say it's a 3 out of 10 window until we buy a CDM. I'm like, listen, man, I don't live in that negative world like you man do. Make sure that like button's being hit, people. We want to get past 500 likes while we are live on the air this evening. Please get that done for me. Next on the show, we're going to go to Graham. Graham's on the terrace now. Who do you support, Graham?
Man United, man.
Lovely. Give me your thoughts on this Saúl Ñíguez news.
I think Atletico is using us to get Niguez sold and sold to Barca. So I think it was a trap. But yeah, I wouldn't mind him at United, but I think he's not on our priority list at the moment. So we have other deals to complete before we even think of getting into negotiations with him, I guess.
I do hear you on that. Graham, thanks for that call, mate. Top man. We'll do some quick fire calls here. Next up, we're going to go to AJ. AJ, welcome to the terrace. What do you want to say?
Yeah, basically here in the Saul news, I think I would love Saul at United. I mean, he's a world-class midfielder, and but I think if we go for Saul, but I think we have to sell Pogba for that, basically, to get Saul. And if we are going in for Saul, that indicates that Pogba might leave this summer, but I don't think so. Pogba will. I think it's the agents using us to drive up the Barcelona deal and stuff. Besides that, I'm very excited about the Varane deal and Sancho deal. It's going to transform our team next season. And basically, Oli switching to a 4-3-3 indicates we might go for a DM as well, either Rice or maybe Basuma from Brighton. Like, he's a good midfielder as well. So there are options for us out there to get a CDM. So
I hear you. Yeah, no, I do hear you on that, and it's going to be interesting to see what we do this summer. No doubt about it. Yeah. AJ, thank you for that call, my man. Thank you. Next on the terrace, we're going to go to Donny. James is here. Donny, welcome back to the terrace, mate. What are you saying?
Hey, still recovering from that 200k party. It was a wild celebration. Thank you so much again for letting me on the panel with all the originals. I had a blast.
No worries at all, mate. What do you make of this Saúl Ñíguez news this evening?
I think United in general need a round of applause. Like, I think what's really important to mention overall, first of all, about United's business is I congratulate Darren Fletcher and John Murtagh. I don't congratulate the Glazers because they've got nothing to do with this business. This is Fletcher and Murtagh doing what's best for the football club. This is what they are doing. So I congratulate Fletcher and Murtagh, not the Glazers.
You know it's Myrtle.
Sorry, I have a weird pronunciation with names. I'm terrible.
No worries, mate. No worries.
Saúl, I think, would be great for United. I think he'd be perfect for that midfield. Yeah, I still pronounce him Saúl.
Cool.
It gives him that extra Spanish flair at the end of his name. Yeah, I think since the reports came out that Solskjaer wants to play the 4-3-3 now, and could see the end of McFred, or he could just be in that midfield with. I think it would be a good midfield. You know, I think if McFred was back up to Saúl, Pogba, Bruno, that's a title-winning midfield. That Saúl, Pogba, and Bruno. And Van der Beek is back up as well. Don't forget. So I think that there's a real potential with that midfield, and I think that Saul would be a wonderful buy for United. Raphael Varane obviously is going to help that defence as well. Sancho on the wing, any of the youngsters breaking through as well. I mean, we're expected to sign one of the Premier League Academy youngsters, so maybe one of the talents that play for United today might end up coming to us tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. But in terms of other youngsters, whoever it may not be, they could have their chance to break through this season. I think Alanga showed at the end of last season he could definitely show some stuff. I think Shortire could show stuff when he's given the chance. Hannibal Medjbury could have a real opportunity here. Even the defender, I think his name's Hill or Bell, something like that. I think he could be a real prospect as well. On the Locatelli bid as well, look, let's be perfectly honest here. Arsenal are not getting Locatelli, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a Juventus signing. And I think that it'll be a loan, possibly a loan to buy option. I'm not too sure, but I don't think he's going to Arsenal, in my opinion. I think that I've been meaning to say this for a while about Arsenal. Yes, they're getting Ben White. Yes, they're getting Lokonga. Yes, they're getting they've got Tavares, who scored a beauty in that pre-season match against Rangers. Yes, they've got these signings, but I do worry for Arsenal because they promised they would back the manager and they're not really backing him. Yes, they've got a Premier League proven defender that's coming in. Yes, they're going to get this Awar guy. But, apart from that, they've got two teenagers. And, take into account they've kept Kolasinac, they've kept Willian at the moment, but he's obviously on the exit list. I just worry for Arsenal because they promised they were going to back the manager and they're not. And it's blatant lying from the owners and the people in charge. It's blatant lying. So, I worry for Arsenal. I think once they've got Ben White in, I'll see what they do for the rest of the window. But at this stage at the moment, Terry, I predict Arsenal will not finish in Europe this season again. And that might be an outrageous prediction. It might change, when the window comes in, but it comes to an end and there's more signings coming in. But at this current moment, I don't predict Arsenal to finish in Europe again because I don't see their chance for business being on par with the big clubs by name that they're competing with. But big up yourself, big up the terrace. And yeah, it was a wild 200k party. And I'm a chill out tomorrow and hopefully get that new signing through the door.
Top man. Cheers, Donny. All the best,
Cheers.
mate. See you in a bit. Thank you indeed. A lot of people challenging my pronunciation of John Myrtle's name. I'm going to put it into Google Translate. See how they say it. I'm now getting. Do you know what it is? When I hear a name said wrong, I then can't say it right. So let's put it in here, right? We know how it's spelled, right? How's it said? Listen up.
Murtough.
Murtough. No, it's not pronounced Murtough, though, is it?
Murtough.
See, that don't make sense. Then let's say his name right. Let's put it in here, right? You're all confusing me now. How does it? Murto. That's not. It shouldn't be. But it don't even sound right. It literally don't even sound right. Let's put it into. They normally have these things on YouTube, don't they? It's like how to pronounce. I love these things. How to say in English. Right. There must be something in it. Hang on.
Murph.
What's that? All right, because it's spelled Murtough, but you don't say it like that, do you? I don't think. Let's see what it says here.
Murtough.
Murtough. Is it Murtough? Or I'm so confused. Murtough. Is that how you pronounce it, really?
Murtough.
John Murtough. Okay, there is how it's pronounced then. I don't know why I've always said it differently to that. That's me, bloody told. Nah, I'm still not having that. That don't sound right. Let's try listen to this one.
Murta.
So it is pronounced Murta. Donny was right. See, that's two, but that's the thing. There's two different websites. This one says
Murta.
Murta, right? And then the previous, this is why I'm confused. And then the previous one said
Murtough.
Murtough. What am I going to do? I don't know now. See, this is where it does my... No, do you know what we need? We need him to say Murtough or Murta. But even from the guy from Lethal Weapon, I think it was Myrtle. Like Myrtle. Myrtle, like that. I know there's no L in it, but I swear that's how he pronounced it. I'm confused now. I don't hear things... Hang on a sec. I found another website that does it. Hang on now. Where's it at? Why can't I go forward? Come back, baby, come back. Right, let's get this back again. How to? Right, there's a YouTube video. Oh, I just clicked on the wrong link here. Right, this one here. Ah, see, because the way he spells it is different to this one. This one's got a U and an A, so this one could be very different. Let's listen to this one.
Murtaugh,
Murtaugh. It is Murtaugh. Donny James, I'm sorry. There we go. I've heard Murtaugh. I've heard Murtough. Some prick said Myrtle. That was me! Anyway, let's call him Johnny Boy. Then that sort us all right out. That's all sort us right out. I swear to you, though, I've heard people pronounce it about 4 different ways. What we really need is for him to say, but this happens all the time. I found out the other day that we say Kiev wrong. You know, like Dynamo Kiev. I can't remember what the exact right way to say it is now, but it was like Kava or something. It was like, we're saying it wrong for 25 years. Just how it is. Johnny works, doesn't it? There we go. Right, let's go next to the next call. We're going to go to ARN is going to be on the show with us now. Welcome to the terrace. What do you want to say? You there? No, it's not there. We'll try someone else now. We're going to go to man like Sid Singh. What are you saying, Sid Singh?
Hey, Terry, how are you? Good to see you again.
I am learning how to say Myrtle.
Oh, yeah, I can definitely see that. You're doing all right, I hope. Yeah, you're doing good.
I appreciate that, mate. Thank you. What you here to say, mate? What you here to say?
Yeah, okay, before I start, I just want to say one thing about you, that, you have a very uncanny laugh, by the way. When you laugh, you sound like the Joker.
Murtaugh,
Thank you, Murtaugh. I'm still learning how to say this name at the same time. Thank you. My laugh is just what I'm saying. But listen, I appreciate that.
It's a good laugh. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. But anyway, let's just get on.
Yeah, what do you make of the Saúl Ñíguez news?
Okay, Saul Niguez news. This is kind of interesting, but I don't think we are gonna sign him. I don't think we're gonna sign Saul Niguez. It's like every year we get linked to this Saul Niguez every year, just like Ronaldo. We have been linking to him we have been getting linked with Saul Niguez since he joined Atletico, or since he has started playing with Atletico. And every year we are getting linked with this Saul Niguez thing. And probably we are interested in him, but I don't see that happening this year. Yeah, I just feel like whosoever his agent is, he's just trying to
I agree. I
put
think
his name everywhere.
I think we're definitely being used a little bit. There's no doubt about that at all. Listen,
Yeah.
Sid, thank you very much for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate it, mate. Top man.
Yeah, actually, there was actually one more thing I actually wanted to talk about. But like with the Varane situation, actually, no, not Varane. It's about the CDM situation. Do you think are we gonna sign a CDM? Because we really need a CDM as a for Manchester United. If we don't sign a CDM, I don't see us challenging for the.
I don't.
title.
It depends on who else we get, but I don't think it's as essential as some people are making it out to be. I don't think if we sign Trippier and Varane, Sancho's in, and Pogba stays, I don't think it stops us from challenging for the title not having a CDM. I'm personally I'm not prepared to give Ollie that excuse. I still think it's a good enough squad to challenge from that point of view.
Yeah, it's a major improvement, but
and having your say, top man. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah,
All the best. Thank you. Let's do a few more of your comments coming through here. Laugh is cringe. I mean, literally, bruv, your username is me in your head, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Simple as that. Myrtle the turtle is Myrtle. I'm going to say Myrtle from now on. I know that now. I'd raid the French league and bring 10 French players in at Arsenal. I'd build a strong French core at Arsenal, is what Rowan says. Maybe that would work. Maybe it wouldn't. English people say too many Greek words wrong. Like, I don't even know what those words are, but there we go. Yeah, I'm not even going to try and say them now that you said that, Maria, because it will go wrong. But there we go. It is what it is. More higher April says morning. Must be morning where you are. It's obviously very late. Well, getting towards being not very late here. Getting towards being late here in the UK. Yeah, you were right. We did put it on slow-mo chat. It's actually easier. I can keep up with the chat a little bit more. It's a Ricky Gervais laugh. Yeah, like Ricky Gervais definitely copied me. If you're watching Ricky, I've got your number, mate. You definitely copied my flow, brother. You definitely copied my flow. But listen, everyone who has tuned in this evening, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. We're back tomorrow morning with more content as always. Until next time, look after yourselves. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again